Hello everyone, so Kate Allgood here, founder of Quantum Performance, a high-performance coaching firm specializing in the mental training for athletes. Today I wanted to dive into the topic of sports psychology and injuries for athletes, what the role is of someone like myself when working with an injured athlete, and also looking a little bit at a specific injury, which is a concussion. That is a very hot topic right now in the world of sports. It's also a very unique form of injury that an athlete has to go through because it's not something that can be really, actively rehabilitated. So it kind of creates a little bit of different psychological issues for an athlete. So for someone like me, my role with working with an athlete when they're dealing with an injury is kind of threefold. So in the first sense, I can work with an athlete who might be putting themselves into position where the likelihood that they're going to get injured is increased with their role within their sport. So for example, a hockey enforcer, they put themselves on a nightly basis into situations where they're potentially going to get hurt, whether that's with a concussion or some other form of injury. And it can create a lot of different psychological issues for that athlete. And so my job, obviously working with them, is helping them to deal with those emotions, feelings, and things that come up due to their role within their team and their sport. Another role is helping an athlete through the injury process, helping them emotionally, psychologically move through that process, kind of grieve the loss of maybe their season or what they expected their season to be. There is definitely a grieving process that an athlete needs to go through because things are shifting. And for an athlete, an injury is very, very difficult because usually the sport or them being, in that athletic role is the way that they deal with stress. And so as soon as you take that away, now you have a stressful event such as an injury, but on top of that, you've taken away the method for which they usually deal with their stress. And so that can cause a lot of extra stress and issues. And so my job is really helping an athlete kind of move through that process. Then finally, another role that I have with dealing with athletes who are injured is helping them now bounce back after they are fully healed, they've rehabilitated, and they're ready to get back into action. And for different athletes and different reasons, they're going to have different potential psychological hurdles that they'll have to come over. Maybe the fear of re-injuring themselves, maybe having to change their style of play, or worried that they're not going to be the athlete or be able to perform like they once did. There's a lot of different things that go through an athlete's mind in that situation. So my job is to help, ease them back in, or not even ease them back in, but help make that process from being injured to getting back into their sport as smooth as possible. As I was saying at the beginning of the video, one injury in particular that's very hard for an athlete is a concussion, and it's a hot topic right now in the world of sports, especially with the sports that increase that likelihood. But a lot of sports that people don't even think about, athletes are getting injured in this manner. And a concussion is especially psychologically hard for an athlete because it actually can change also their mood, their behavior, their emotions, whether that's at the onset or afterwards. Even athletes who obviously are at the very severe extent of developing CTE, also it really greatly impacts them psychologically and can be very, very devastating. So a concussion, and when dealing with that, it's always very beneficial to reach out to someone, professional who can help an athlete, emotionally get through a concussion. It's very difficult. They can't take as active of a role in their rehabilitation as usually you can with other types of injuries. So it's a little bit more stressful on the mind, and it definitely is something that I highly recommend if you or someone is dealing with that, to make sure you get some help or they get some help so that they can move through it, and so that when they get back, they're ready to go and are able to get back a little bit faster and more effectively. So a couple tips for you if you're dealing with an injury, or if you know someone who is dealing with an injury. One of the best things that an athlete who's injured can do is visualize. Visualization is huge. It's great both physically but also emotionally, to help an athlete still feel kind of like they're actively doing something. Whether it's visualizing practices that they were supposed to be doing or visualizing themselves in a game, and it can help increase their ability to bounce back as soon as they're ready to physically get back into action. A big part of it too is being able to see, positive images, think positive thoughts, which is very, very difficult for an injured athlete to do. So helping an athlete to get into that more positive frame of mind is a big job that I do. So, helping yourself visualize, thinking positively, making sure you take an active role in your rehabilitation is very, very important. And also find people who are going to help you, who you trust. Find a physical therapist, find a chiropractor, find a massage therapist, find a muscle activation technique specialist, find someone who you can trust to help you physically through that process, so that when they say you're ready to go, you can trust what they're saying and you can let that concern or that worry out of your mind and just get back into playing. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me an email. I'm always happy to answer any questions I can. And I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Have a great day.